Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on best practices for Atlassian Cloud migration and optimization, powered by enreap. My name is Akshay Raina. I work as a senior marketing executive at enreap, and I'll be your host and moderator for today. Our Atlassian solution expert today will help you understand all the best practices that an enterprise should follow for a seamless Atlassian cloud transformation now that Atlassian has ended its support for server products last month. Stick till the end because we have an important announcement for you all. Do fill the survey form at the end if you want to avail a free assessment offer with an Atlassian expert post the session. Before moving ahead, I would like to highlight a few things about the session. The session is being recorded and it will be shared with you post the webinar has ended over an email. Our solution expert, Dipti, will help guide you in the session. And if you have any questions within the session, do let us know in the comment Q&A session below, and we'll address all of your questions at the end of the webinar, all on the live chat itself. So without further ado, allow me to introduce our today's speaker for the session, Mr. Dipti Ranjan Behra. He is with over 13 years of experience. Dipti has been a go-to-market expert for all Atlassian things. Dipti has helped enterprises in implementing project management initiatives by engaging with business clients and senior leadership with utmost quality and support, including detailed in-depth analysis, planning, and preparations using agile methodologies. Thank you, Dipti, for joining today's session.
Thank you. Thank you, Akshay.
Starting with a little bit of brief about enreap. Our expertise lies in the operational delivery excellence across various verticals and business functions. We have offices in multiple geographies like Singapore, Middle East, and India. And we have 8 partners with us who have been associated with us over the last decade. Our solution offerings range from ITSM, cloud, agile, and DevOps. With more than 400 clients, we have served across 10 industries. As you can see, there are a lot of industries that we have served in the past. And we have helped a lot of clients in their digital transformation journey. We pride ourselves on our expertise in helping enterprises achieve operational delivery by automating their processes and workflows to improve your business functions with excellent outcomes. Then we have project management for IT and non-IT teams, SDLC, lean and agile methodologies, DevOps and DevSecOps for business performances, and then ITSM and cloud infrastructure. We help our clients in faster time to market, higher ROI, cost reduction, early risk detection, visibility to stakeholders, and likewise. As we said, our offerings lies across the length and breadth of the technology suite like Agile and DevOps, Cloud, Project Portfolio Management, and ITSM. We have served across industries with some of the famous logos who have been working with us right now and or whom we've served in the past 10 years. With this, I'd like to hand it over to Dipti Ranjan. Dipti, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Akshay. So, hi everyone. Welcome to the webinar best practices and insight to optimize our cloud journey. So, I would like to start you must have the news that Atlassian has officially ended their server support, and it is just crucial to stay ahead of the game. Atlassian is now only concentrating on Atlassian Cloud services and Atlassian data center. So, but still, Atlassian is aggressively now wanting everyone to move to cloud so that user are focused on better user experience instead of spending majority of their time in maintaining the application or performance troubleshooting. And also with the current scenario, more security attacks happening, so they want also to take care of the security and risk of the application instead of user handling those things. So first of all, why migrate to Atlassian Cloud from DC or from server? So why we need to migrate? What extra advantage we are getting if we are migrating to the Atlassian Cloud? So the first of all is peace of mind. Peace of mind as in whenever if we are using DC or earlier we are using server infra, in that we have to maintain the application, maintain the backend of the application, maintain the security of the application, network issues. So a majority of the maintenance time goes into the maintenance of the application also. So with all these things being taken over by Atlassian, so definitely it brings a lot of peace of mind in maintaining the application and continuous version upgrades. As Atlassian provides a lot quick version means new features, new version upgrades to Atlassian Cloud environment than to the DC environment. There is a lot of gap in those features coming to the Atlassian DC. Apart from that, with the Atlassian Cloud, there will be improved speed and accessibility. User will have a better experience in low latency of accessing the URLs in Atlassian Cloud. Apart from that, better performance, their dashboards, their filters, their queries get loaded faster. Any any apps they are using that gets loaded faster because Atlassian will work on to optimize and control the application uses. And apart from that, one of the major challenges that happen when we use Atlassian products in DC environment, in DC on the on-premise environment, is high availability. So sometimes outages happens due to network issues or any security attacks happen or any other activity or any maintenance activity is done for the infrastructure. So because of that, the high ability is not achieved, and that tends to be everyone wants to achieve it 99.9%, but nobody able to achieve when you are using it in the infrastructure mode. But Atlassian takes care of it, and they try to maintain a high availability of 99.9% so that user only focuses on their uses. Apart from that, Atlassian helps in maintaining the security and vulnerability of the instance also, cloud instance. Because of that, and due to this, they are already compliant, security compliant, like GDPR compliant, HIPAA compliant, and SOC compliant, which are major compliance for the application to be secure. So those are standard all over the world global practices, which already Atlassian is providing, and each year they are assessing and improving on their security for the instance. Apart from that, also we get better apps in the cloud environment, also seamless integration without any issue on that side. And and major point in migrating to cloud, no investment on hardware infrastructure or hosting. Those things will be taken over by Atlassian. The user should only focus on the strategic goal, that is using Atlassian products in the proper way, so that and the rest of the things will be handled by Atlassian. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah. So before that, we focused on why we should migrate to cloud. But after our migration to the cloud, to have a better user experience or to have a good performing instance. So we need to optimize our cloud environment. So backend optimization is already handled by Atlassian, but the front-end application, the configurations that we do in our cloud, in our products, that is under our control, and we can use it rightly. We can use the right configuration and the right balance to optimize the use of our cloud configurations in use cloud. So some of the points why we need to optimize the cloud is, as you know, the Jira platform or other Atlassian product platforms are highly configurable. We can customize it. So due to high configurations, so things definitely there might be configurations which can lead to uh, you can say unbroken thing, some broken thing. Because of that, the performance of any feature can impact because of high configuration and of performance. Since Atlassian takes care of the backend operation, the cloud performance is very high in comparison to the DC environment. Okay, where everyone because of the high CPU uses or any process catch 22 things happens in the process. So because of that, sometimes the application performance degrades. So those things are not happen in Atlassian Cloud. So this because of that. And if we because of the optimization, any features we are implementing in the products, so that should be scalable. So if we are not doing the right optimization or right configuration, then definitely the features we are implementing, they will not be scalable for the future. Okay. And apart from that, there are compliance and governances which needs to be maintained because of that. These play a major role in optimization of the cloud. And last not the least, that is the security and risk. Because of new vulnerabilities coming into the environment, and security becomes a prime objective of the company to work. So any application or any product that is implemented company, that has to go through security phase, and that clearance has to become. In DC or in cloud, that optimization takes a lot of time, lot of effort and everything. But in case of cloud environment, that is handled by Atlassian, and some of the configuration that under our control, we need to also maintain it to have a better security, so that uh, no outside attacks or malware attacks happen to our instance. Yeah. So because some of the cloud optimization best practices we have mentioned here and categorize it on the basis of that. So few of the categories that we have done is during migration to Atlassian Cloud, what are the best optimization policies that we need to follow? Again, some of the best practices that we need to follow in front end, in the applications, like in administrative sections, in like through site health check optimization. That site plays a major role in that site. And the site needs to be properly optimized, the and healthy site, then only everything will function and there will be no security attacks, and all the and the we can get the best performance out of the cloud site. And also like some of the things in the Jira query language also, that will I'll also explain what we need, how we need to how the query should be written, what things we need to follow, so that we get a faster result out of whatever we search, and that doesn't impact our performance of the instance. Okay. And apart from that, there's the automation rules which Atlassian is aggressively using in the cloud. Everyone is using to automate their repetitive task. So automation rules also follows a like, since everyone is using the automation rule, but that should be a optimized way to do the automation rules also, so that we get the best result, and whatever things we are automating, it should be happening immediately with low latency actually. Because if the automation is not properly configured, then definitely it will take a lot of time to complete the execution, and eventually it will have a bad user experience, and users will start complaining on that same. Okay. Dashboard is a major plays a major role in the configuration. Dashboard optimization is a major thing that that should be properly done in cloud. And in DC or in server, everyone used to have a users used to report that dashboard is not loading faster. So whatever activity or whatever task we do, we eventually open the first thing in our cloud, in our instance, is the dashboard. Okay, where you can say uh, the reporting and everything, all the data fetches are being fetched to filters or through other means. Uh, that needs to be proper, so that the right data fetch and user don't have to wait a lot to see their data. Yeah. So first of all, is what optimization should we do for cloud migration? While we're doing the cloud migration, from DC to server instance to our cloud journey, either Jira or Confluence. These are the various things we need to keep in mind to have a optimized cloud migration experience. First, we need to, during our pre-migration steps, we need to clean up our instance. That is the foremost thing. Any legacy data or project issues, any configurations that we have, if they are not in use, then and it is a very old, then definitely we should not migrate it to our cloud environment. Reason being, obviously they are old, and they while doing the migration, they will definitely have interfere in the migration. And apart from that, these dead objects will count as data, data as storage. So if we clean up this legacy data and configuration, definitely our overall data size will decrease, and that will help us in a faster migration of our complete data. So eventually our complete the downtime we take based on this will reduce exponentially. So before doing as a pre-migration step, we should clean up our old data, custom fields, configurations, which are not on use, workflows, unwanted things that we should not move it to cloud. So that cleanup has to be done. After the cleanup is done, we need to audit and verify the app compatibility. Before doing any kind of migration to the cloud, we need to see the assessment report and audit each our apps compatibility with the cloud. If they are not present, if the apps present in our server or DC environment are not present in the cloud, then we need to have a strategy to migrate those data. Okay, so migrating it to cloud and doing the changes over there, it will be better if we do the migration in the DC and the server environment and then move to the cloud. It is like migrate, change, make the migrate the app data, then we do the kind of cloud migration. Okay, it will help us give a better experience in migration, and there will be less error, and eventually less time it will take for complete data migration, for the complete migration process. So this is a major thing that we have to audit all those apps and prepare a compatibility plan. So how we can do also that? So we can use Atlassian already provides one app uses plugin that lists out all the app uses, the apps we have installed in our environment in DC environment or in server environment. We can use that plugin to find out where that particular incompatibility app is being used. Okay, is there any entries in the database, or it is being used in any dashboard or anywhere? So those kind of things we can find out. And similar for Confluence, the macro uses in the general configuration, we can find out where the macro uses are there, which are not available in cloud, incompatible. So through those macro uses, we'll be able to find out how many pages are affected. So accordingly, we can take the proper steps to migrate those data from those macros. In case of Jira, we can properly figure out, have the data, the complete uses, and accordingly, we can take the necessary steps. Okay. Apart from that, we also need to do a integrity checker, the assessment, because sometimes what's happened, there might be broken objects or custom fields or any configurations which might be creating might be failing in health check for the instance. So while doing the migration, they might those broken configurations might hinder the overall migration process. Okay, so in that case, if we do a integrity check and check out the broken objects which are not in uses, so those can be removed out or handled accordingly. Okay. Apart from the migration, yeah, one of the major thing that we need to take care, but we won't prepare any thing for it. That is efficient backup strategy. in case the migration fails. So we need to have a proper migration strategy in case of any disaster thing. So we need to have a backup policy so that all the I would recommend that NREP would recommend that we take complete instance backup of if we are doing it on staging, or else if we are doing it in from production, we need to take a complete instance backup in collaboration with the infra team of the customer. So this way, what happens in case if we are doing the migration or and any due to because of that the instance get corrupted because of high processing, the staging might get corrupted or any migration might fail. So to address those issues, we need to prepare a efficient backup policy so that we can quickly restore the instance and again we can start on the testing. So this instance like preparing the instance through database on everything, that becomes very quicker, faster because of this backup strategy policy. So if we don't have this kind of policy, then definitely or we are not taking any backups, so definitely we'll start from the scratch installing, taking the backup, and again installing the database, plugin infra, home folder. So doing this takes a good amount of time. Again, because of since it will take a lot of time. Again, we have to shift our timelines because of that. So efficient backup policy helps in addressing those issues and saves a lot of time. So these are the optimization steps that we need to take care while doing the cloud migration in case of Confluence or Chick. Okay. So those were the backup migration optimization things. But apart from that, some of the optimizations for proper cloud experience, Atlassian cloud experience, we need to also do some front-end configurations that will help us having a better optimize our data, optimize our instance at the front-end level, as Atlassian is already optimizing our instance at the back end to the hosting platform. So some of the things that we need to take care while doing the implementation or any configuration at admin level or the site level or at any project level. So some of the administrative configurations that we need to take care, we need to have in mind while while optimizing, having an optimized experience or better experience for our site. So some of the things are as you can cleaning up the legacy old projects. So cleaning up the legacy old data project, definitely it will remove out the old issues. We can trace it out, and that will help us like as limited amount of data will be there in our site. So the database and everything will load up faster. So it will have a better performance or optimized experience on that side. Okay, and while the administrative site admin access or the admin access, it should be limited actually. Means we should be clearly defined. Yes, only fewer administrative access would be there. Reason being, if many people are having the site admin access, then definitely they will configure. They will have their own. They will do their configuration on the basis of their thoughts and how their plan, and that might create a conflict actually because every like every will follow that approach in doing the configuration. So that should not be the case. That can lead to wrong configurations and everything. So limited access should be there so that limited users, they know each other and they know what configuration changes are being done. Okay. While doing the configurations or any kind of implementation, we should follow a clear naming convention. Why clear naming convention helps us to address like what configuration this is, and this configuration belongs to any project, or this configuration is done for any particular feature, or this configuration means like what is the versioning of this configuration in case of workflows in Jira. we tend to do a lot of changes to the workloads. If we maintain a version like 1.0 or 1.1, something like that, so it will help us to address on those things. So a clear naming convention becomes a self-explanatory, and reading those names, basically anybody can understand what this configuration is and they belongs to which area. Okay. And yes, apart from that, we need to manage the users properly, the active users and inactive users. Okay. This activity needs to be done timely in certain duration to have optimize the licenses that we have. Okay, sometimes we have 500 user license and the number of users increases. So we need to understand the uses of the users, if they are active or inactive. So based on that, we can optimize the license. We can achieve it through third-party add-ons, since this is not a default functionality in Jira in Cloud. So we have to use some third-party marketplace apps to achieve this functionality. Okay, and also some of the filter subscriptions in while in while using the JQuery. In that part, in the filter subscriptions, we need to optimize the optimize the limit to the number of users who are subscribed to a particular filter or something similar to. Because if a lot of outgoing mails get generated, then definitely it will impact the performance of the instance actually. Every mails will come into queue and that will impact a lot to the instance, as the instance will spend a lot of time in processing those mails. So that things we need to take care while subscribing to the filters. Or if you want to share it to a set of audience, then we need to narrow our scope of subscription. Okay. And yes, through integrations, whenever the application integrations happens, so we need to optimize those integrations also, since there might be large volume of data might be flowing through any other application, Atlassian application or non-Atlassian applications through integrations with Jira or Confluence. So that needs to be regulated actually, or else due to high volume of data, definitely the integration will not work and the instance might suffer in case of performance. So definitely, through how we can achieve it, we can achieve it while building the connectivity. If we can narrow down the scope of sync, then definitely we will eventually reduce the volume of data. Means instead of like pulling in all data syncing, we can narrow down it accordingly. Yeah, yeah. Another yes, apart from this, from the administrative configuration side, permission and workflow plays a major role in achieving a optimized cloud environment, cloud uses. So we provide permissions on the basis of uh, project roles. We can give access to single users. We can access to user groups. We can provide access to add-ons. But always it is recommended to provide access on the basis of project role only. In the project role, in the project, you can define, you can add users to that particular role, either the users directly or the groups. So through that way, we can control the access or the permission scheme actually. And similarly, because of this, similar projects with same permissions can be implemented. That will not impact if we directly add any. That will not have an impact, but definitely there will be bad experience, impact in case the if single users are directly getting added to the permission scheme. So this will also will be a major impact on security side also. If some user don't want to should not be having access on other projects. So if we do like single user addition, then definitely those users will have access to the other projects also, which should not be the case. So best way is to implement it to use it to project role, which will help us in optimizing the access to the project. As I said, avoid individual sharing of access, that adding single user to the permission scheme, which is a bad practice and should not be done. Okay. And yeah, while doing the workflow, so you can there might be simple workflow and complex workflows are there with many steps and many transitions. So whenever we are preparing any workflow or deciding upon what should be the process, we should always involve the stakeholders and provide the recommendations so that the right stages of the workflow are prepared. Okay, it workflows and apart from that, workflows should not be of so long actually. It should not carry like 10 or 15 stages actually. It should be compact. It should be of limited strategies and simple so that everyone can understand. The transactions should be simple. It should not be all-to-all transaction. It should be the right transactions. It will help the workflow to function properly and keep the process lean. So the strategies should be limited, and accordingly, uh, means you can say the process, or you can see if strategies are more, then we can address it in a different way. Either create a separate issue type, or we can create a new subtask. So those kind of things we need to follow while addressing a workflow. Because with lots of steps and lots of configurations will also validators, post functions will also get associated with the workflow, which can lead to non-functioning. Sometimes error might come up, or since high configurations are done in workflows, so sometimes the issues might not get it, or somebody might forget to remove a configuration or add a configuration. So those kind of possibilities can come up. And some of the best practices to have a better optimized workflow is always create a workflow and test it in a empty project with creating some sample data so that we can know that yes, the workflow is functioning properly. Okay. After this should be the first step. In the next step, actually, we should put it in an actual project so that whenever we uh, test that workflow with a particular with the actual data, we will be able to find out where is the issue and where is the error. So whenever we finally move it to production, it will the workflow will go live with less number of bugs or errors. Okay, so eventually this is also part of the optimization as proper process is followed to have a proper workflow in an optimized way. Okay. So post deployment of the workflow, there will be no errors on that side, and that will not hinder the user experience. Okay. On custom field side, yes, custom build also plays a major role in configurations as when you do integrity checks or any health check we do. So custom fields are always there, like unused custom fields or some of the things which are broken. So whenever we are adding any custom fields or anything, we should always use a generic name. Okay, instead of using the same name, always use a generic name so that everybody can identify those custom fields through name, and they can use it accordingly. And sometimes scenarios might come up that similar kind of custom field is to be done, but some of the people, they used to create new custom fields instead of creating context, custom field context actually. So we should avoid creating new custom field if existing custom fields, if those issues can be addressed to existing custom field only by creating the context. How it will help us to reduce the number of overall custom field uh, in the instance, and also it will help us to optimize the uses of those custom fields also. So existing custom fields are being used, so that will help us in optimizing our environment. And similarly, whenever we create custom fields, we should have a cleanup strategy also for custom fields also. The custom fields which are being created a long time ago in some projects, and those projects are not in use. So we should have a strategy like in quarterly or in 6 months, we should look at the custom fields which are in use and which are not in use. If they are not in use and those project data have become legacy, then definitely we should have a strategy to clean up those custom fields. This will help us increase the overall health of the instance and also optimize the instance. Next slide. So while using the jQuery or Jira query language in case of Atlassian Jira Cloud, so sometimes whenever users does a query, so it takes little bit of time to for the query data or the results to be loaded. So the reason behind is that wrong uses of the jQuery. So some of the things that we need to take care while writing a jQuery language is that we should have a narrow scope or limit the scope of our query. So we just can't write like assignee equal to Dipti. So if you want to get all the issues of Dipti in a particular project, then we should have project equal to ABC and assignee equal to Dipti. This will narrow if this query narrows down our search to that particular project. So this helps in returning faster the data, the results, instead of if we are not using the project, then definitely it will search all the projects in the instance and look for assignee Dipti. And definitely since it will look for all the project and that's why it will take a lot of time to return the results. Apart from that, we should be focused on where to use the or and the and clauses. Okay, that plays a major role with and or. If we are using and in the subclauses, then definitely it will narrow down our cases, the scope. And on the top side, we should use or, like project project equal to ABC and assignee equal to Dipti within bracket, or project equal to XYZ and assignee is equal to Akshay. So this is overall the individual bracket queries, subclauses. They narrow down the scope and eventually we get the right result faster. Okay. Apart from that, we should avoid creating and some of the recursive fields also, which will deep down into the issues to get the right result. But yes, some of the fields from the apps, recursive functions, Jekyll function used in over the apps, those are optimized. The app team, they have already invested in optimizing those functions, so that those functions helps in a lot. But still, if any uh, sorry, if any custom field or any field is there which takes a lot of time in calculating or anything is added, so we should avoid it in our query. The next slide. Dashboards. Dashboards is a major contentious issue in DC and as well as in cloud environment. A major optimization uh, problem always happens in the dashboard part. Since dashboard, we have lots of gadgets added to the dashboard, and in background of those gadgets, we have configure filter queries which pull in the data. So first of all, those filter queries will fetch the data, then the gadgets will work on to display those data. If lots of gadgets are already present in the dashboard, then definitely the loading of the dashboard will take some time. The rendering of the dashboard will always take a lot of time. It will have a high latency. So some of the things that we need to take care to have an optimized experience with the dashboard is that, first of all, whenever we create a dashboard, we should first decide who is the consumer of the dashboard. Is it the program manager, the tech lead, the product owner, or the developer? Because accordingly, we can configure the right gadgets or the right reports in the dashboard. Like a overall overall check, like the program manager or the product will like to have an overview of the product statuses and everything. But the developers and the testers should not be having those kind of views. Okay, the tech leads might be having an overall view of the particular project or the things, but similar view should not be with PM. So each role they have a different view of the dashboard, and accordingly we should prepare the dashboard for them. That will actually end like putting all the gadgets, whatever things we can show, let's show those in the dashboard. So those kind of mentality or thinking will not come up. So whatever the whatever the stakeholder decides what should be, if we understand who is the stakeholder, and accordingly we can prepare the gadgets in the dashboard, and that will be limited in number, but as per their uses. So that will eventually faster loading of those dashboards. The queries will load faster, and the dashboard will get rendered properly. So always similarly, as I've said before, the JQueries that we return, the filters that we write, that should have a narrow scope so that the results get loaded faster. Same case per year, whenever we configure gadgets, filters in the gadgets, we always need to write a optimized filter, narrow down the scope of the filter. Eventually, when the filter loads up, the configured filter loads faster. Definitely, the dashboard also loads faster. So it will give you a better experience, and the it will have a optimized uses of those dashboards. Next slide. Yeah. One of the major thing in a site is in the cloud site is site health check. Site health check. Majority of the people avoid it. They don't understand this case, but we should always work to have a good site health check. Actually, good site health should be our utmost priority. Reason being, if the site is good in an optimal level, then definitely the functioning, the performance, everything will be good for the site. And if the site is not in a right way, then definitely the functioning, the data will not be loaded faster. Any query you are building, then it will not return the right result. Apart from that, there might be potential uh, area of security attack also. If the site health or any leakage is there in the site, any custom field which is providing unwanted data, or any access which to external user is provided, which is not limited or restricted properly, then definitely it can be a potential candidate for security attacks. So for that, we need to uh, go through always do a site health check. So right now, this functionality is not present in by default in Jira. It has to be done through third-party apps, but eventually it will always help you in address the health of the site. Another major thing why we need to do is that whenever any security audit or any application audit happens in the company, they always go for and check for the health of the site or the application. So through this, if we are managing our site health, or you can say if our site is optimized, then definitely our site health score will be high, and definitely will be on the better side of the application audit. Okay. So here in the site check, basically, it helps to provide the state of the instance. Means our instance, the health of our instance is in what state, and with this they identify the potential problems, and it will highlight the area of improvement. So through that, whatever the assessment reports get generated, through that we can investigate and improve upon our configurations that will come up from that site health check. So what are the potential site issues that might come up? Same, that the old projects, unused custom fields, unused screens, unused filters, and similarly for project access also. So those kind of things are highlighted in the site health check. Okay. And apart from that, it will also help in verifying some of the user instance or objects also, that will help to keep them in health of the instance maintained, and it will eventually optimize users for maximum benefit. Can you move to the next slide? So in the in one of the major things, functionalities or major uses of functionality for Atlassian Cloud in Jira and Confluence, that is automation. through automation rules, we are able to do a lot of like repetitive activities through automation. Or in case if we are running any scheduled jobs, that can be done through automation. And the automation rules are being executed, which changes the value of certain field or any project information or any workflow transition. So those things can, some of the automations can be done. But while using the automations, we should always take care of certain things to have a better optimized experience with the automation. Okay, and automation rules don't interfere with each other. And for any of the activity, automation rules should not get triggered. The triggering scope of the automation rules should be narrowed down actually. Okay, so while creating the automation rules, we should always align with the business and operation process. Okay, based on understanding with discussion with the product owner or the project manager, we should always understand what exactly this automation process should be doing, align with them, and prepare a proper automation strategy. So through this, we'll be able to understand what exactly we need to implement. Okay, and based on that, uh, appropriate trigger automation triggers we can select. So like users can also like while configuring automation, they will add like trigger this automation on issue create or issue update event. Okay, and they might implement it at the global level. So whenever any update or anything happens on the projects, on all the projects, any issue update is happening or create issue is happening, then that automation will always get triggered. But that should not be the case actually. So that automation should be narrow. So those things should be narrowed down through triggers or through project scope. If that automation needs to work in a particular set of projects, then we should always narrow down it to that project, not make it globally available. So, and whenever we are configuring any kind of automation rule, we should always go for less branching and steps. Reason being, if more branching and more steps are configured in the automation tool, then definitely the automation tool will take a lot of time to um, execute those steps. After processing on the basis of the complexity, it can take a lot of time. So definitely, if we are doing any kind of automation, then we might not get the right, we might not get updated of the fields or any other activity at the with low latency immediately. It can take some 5-6 seconds if lots of steps and lots of branchings are being done. So we need to always like divide those things. We should always like understand the logic and try to build the automation with minimal steps so that the first it gives out the result in the faster way. As I said before, we should always limit the scope of the rules. Scope of the rules through like through configuring the project where it needs to be executed, or else whenever the trigger happens, we can put some if checks. We can do some conditional checks over there that this automation will complete its execution if it is satisfying certain criteria. If it is not satisfying certain criteria, then no action has to be performed. It will skip all those execution steps. Okay, so that way we'll limit those automations, and eventually the automation engine that is running at the back end of the Atlassian, that will have less, it will, what we can say, it will not execute this automation, it will leave it. And it will take up another automation it comes up. Okay. And always sometimes automation rules we configure and they are no more in use, similar to custom build. If the automation fields rules are not in use, then definitely we should disable those rules so that they unnecessarily don't execute and corrupt our data. So these are the things that we need to take care for the automation for a better experience and optimization. Okay. So Confluence, apart from that, Confluence also plays a major role in the Atlassian environment. In as earlier, Confluence was like a document or you can repository or a knowledge base software. But Atlassian adding more and more features to the Confluence. They are adding a lot of features. Because of that, Atlassian has transitioned into a, or you can say transform it into a collaboration software instead of being a knowledge based. So through Confluence, we can do a lot of things. We can uh, like technical people and non-technical people, they can have their own pages over there, define their policies where everyone in the company can see. They can have technical people can have their documents related to design, uh, code practices, everything they can put it over there, and things can be reusable, similar to non-technical team like HR or finance. They can prepare their own spaces and put up all the company policies over there, and everyone can go through those pages, and it will create a healthy environment of feedback structure also. Users can go through those policies, those pages, and they can give their valuable feedback to the team, and they can incorporate those pages. But to have those with more and more data and more of Confluence users have people are using, because of that the more contents are coming to the Confluence, and it will also lead to chaos eventually. So to have the best optimized way for Confluence to use, so some of the things that we have listed on the Confluence best practices. While implementing the Confluence, we should always have a clear content structure, that our content should be kept in this hierarchy, or this is how our content uh, be presented, should be kept, and that should be scalable in the future. So those thinking, those policies should be clearly defined, and always use Confluence standard templates. So, or you can also define your own template. Reason being, Confluence already they are working with customers, knowing their ideas, and with their feedback, they have created a very good standard templates for all the processes, for all the activities we do in our day to day. So they have created many standard templates, and it is good to create those, use those standard templates while building the content. So this will help us. This will make the Confluence in a very much optimized. And we should always use Confluence macros. So because of that, the page becomes very much customizable and dynamic. Uh, and through the macros, the content that we are building in a particular page can be reusable in other pages also. Okay, so it removes the duplicacy of data content. Okay, and yes, we should always organize our attachments to proper naming convention. Sometimes, whenever we are working in a space, we add pictures or documents or anything, lots of things, and we add it to the attachment section. So if the attachments are not named properly, if there is no name, then definitely to identify the attachment, it will take a hell lot of time. So if we always have the night naming for the attachment, if this attachment is being used for this activity, or if this attachment is this version number, then definitely it will help the user uh, to manage those attachments proper, and it will bring a good experience for that space or the page. Okay. Along with that, whenever you are building content in the Confluence, we should always label our pages. It will help to group our content and also the attachments, same thing. So through labels, we can group similar kind of pages, and users can always have a better experience in fetching those pages. So they don't have to go go to all the pages, all the area of the space to get those pages. If we use the label, then definitely it helps us to group the pages, and quickly we can fetch those information. One of the major things of Confluence is permissions. While creating, sometimes what happens, we are creating pages which are mm, uh, where in that the information is not in a proper format, or you can say the page is under construction. we don't want it to publish, or we don't want user to show those pages. So accordingly, we should put the permission or restriction those pages, so that the right contents get available to the right people only. Okay, so that's it. Okay. One of the so those are the parts of the cloud optimization. So the best practices. Recently, one of the major things that has happened in for Atlassian Cloud is data residency. They have launched data residency in India. So how this data residency helps us? So data residency, whenever we are using, sometimes what happens that because of security or compliance issue, means companies don't want to keep their data in cloud environment, or you can say in the Atlassian Cloud, they don't want to put their data, some sensitive information in Jira or in other products. Since they are in cloud, that can be available everywhere. So through data residency, we can decide our Atlassian the data that we are putting in our Atlassian products, cloud products, where it should reside. We so for example, like in India, like some time back, RBI has created a guideline that no financial data should leave India geographical location. Any financial data transaction happening in India region should not leave India geographical region. So based on that, so if we are using Atlassian data residency or Atlassian product, so we can use we can use data residency in India also, so that our data, any financial data or anything, that stays in India only. And apart from that, since the data resides in India, so if we access those information, then it will have a better, optimized, and faster way to fetch those information, or see those information. Yeah. Apart from that, also other global regions also had data residencies available in Europe also, in US, Singapore. So based on their policy, based on their regulations, at which Atlassian is already following, based on that, they are maintaining the data residency. Okay. Yeah. So yes, apart from our activity of doing cloud migrations, helping out customers, moving their data from server or DC to cloud environment, and helping out them also on optimizing their resources and everything. Some of the additional services that we are providing is discovery assessment. So if like you have a process and you want to implement it in Atlassian, and you are not able to do it, so help us, so we can do the discovery, understand the process and everything, assess it, and accordingly we can map it how it should be implemented in the respective Atlassian Cloud product. Apart from that, we also are doing consulting, like helping out the team member clients on if they are having issues in configuration in any particular Atlassian application. So we do providing consulting on that also. And we also help out the teams in uh, like maintenance of the infra also, like in the DC environment, if they are having problems in performance troubleshooting or any other issues happen, so we help out those teams to maintain their instance also. Apart from that, we are also doing a license reselling, project management, uh, and migration from DC to cloud or cloud to DC and cloud to cloud from Atlassian side. Yeah.
Thank you,
Uh,
Dipti. This was
thank
really an insightful session. Before we can, I can already see a lot of questions that are coming up. So, you'd like to take some of these? I have one. Would you recommend Atlassian Access for identity access management in Atlassian Cloud?
Yes. So whenever you are using Atlassian Cloud, we should always go for Atlassian Access actually. Reason being, if we are not using that, then definitely the accounts that are present, the user accounts present in our Atlassian Cloud will be treated as local accounts. and there will be no policy implemented on those accounts, and the user themselves need to manage those accounts. If you are using Atlassian Access, we can completely manage the accounts of the instance through managed accounts, and the admin of the site will have full control on those accounts. And through that, we can also implement policies, authentication policies, like password policies or MFA, two-factor authentication policies also we can configure. That will help us in addressing the security issues or any or account being, so through those policies, the account will not be compromised. So because of that, should always go for Atlassian Access on those Atlassian Cloud sites.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. I think we're really pushing the time limit, and maybe what we can do is take one more question before we can wrap this up.
Mhm.
So I have this one. Can we migrate an in-house plugin developed data which is already integrated with Jira Server?
So right now, JCMA is not providing any kind of help on that side, customized plugins. So what we can do, we can but Atlassian on the cloud side is working very fast, and they are like adding more features in their development platform. So earlier Atlassian had this development framework, Atlassian Connect, but now they have introduced Atlassian Forge also, which is a faster serverless development framework. So any customization that the user have done at their and DC environment or in the server environment, so same configuration or development activities or features can be implemented at the cloud side also.
Oh, thanks. I think, yeah, we have time for one more. So somebody has asked how much time is required for migration, and what are the estimated costs?
See, migration, the amount of time that we take for migration, it's like a generic question. It's not like we have to assess the instance. We have to do a discovery, like understand how much data is there, what are the different complexities, if any customization is there in the plugin in those instances there or not, or we have to check like assessment, like if app incompatibility is there. So those kind of things play a major factor in deciding how much time it takes to migrate to the cloud. If the data is huge, then definitely we need to work out a plan to do things in a phased manner. Or if the data is low, then at a single go, like Big Bang approach, we can complete migrate those data. But before doing it, so this the other assessments, plugin assessment, those things we have to do. Or any, you can say, if some of the app team members, I mean, like clients are using script runner, so those things need to be migrated. So that is a separate activity, as those things had to be handled manually. So definitely these things impact on the cost side also, or also like overall timeline of the migration of the.
Sure. Right. Okay, I think there's another. What is the advantage of Atlassian Cloud versus hosting it on AWS?
So Atlassian Cloud is already hosted in AWS environment only. Atlassian has a strategic alliance partnership with uh, uh, AWS team. So they are already using a customized platform. On top of that, they are hosting their products. So that AWS platform, Atlassian backend team is already platform teams are working on in like customizing and optimizing that platform for us. If we are doing it at our end, if we are taking a AWS environment and hosting the application, then definitely we have to spend the same amount of time in optimizing the platform and optimizing the cost. Also, since the services will be used, we have to look at that point also. Like if we are using the right instance, right EC2 instance, or right database we are using. So those kind of cost means that need to be optimized also. An additional thing also comes up. As I said earlier in the starting of the discussion, uh, if you are using Atlassian Cloud, then we don't have to focus on our hardware cost or any hosting cost. We just have to focus on our company strategic goals, how to do it. The infra cost, infra investment, that we have to leave it, throw it out actually. So that's why already Atlassian is using a optimized AWS environment. So that is a big advantage for us.
Sure. Thanks, Dipti. I think that was really insightful for the entire session. I would have liked to take some of the questions that are in the chat, but I think we've already pushed the time limit so far. So, in case anyone has any questions, do let us know. Our success team will reach out to you and they'll get in touch with you. You have anything to discuss, do feel free and fill up the survey form right after this. We have a free assessment that you can avail. Schedule it as soon as you want to migrate or as per your requirements. Thanks, Dipti. This was really an insightful session for us. I'd like to thank you for taking your time out. With this, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. This is Akshay from enreap signing off. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.